Hey guys, Mondays, am I right? My name's Jonah. I'd like to tell you about the process I use to come up with my little characters. I mostly create these guys for fun, and it's interesting to explore different ways to express my knowledge and creativity. Considering there's not a lot much else I can really put into the intro, let's get started. Step 1. Doodles and brainstorming. Characters don't just pop into my head and become a reality. I actually start off by making a lot of simple sketches and doodles. Most of my characters are based on real-life creatures, but you don't have to stop there. I've made demons, objects, Among Us, and a lot of others. For my demonstration today, I'll be making a character based off of a sugar glider. Step 2. Clothing. For their apparel, try to think of a theme or concept. What kind of clothing do you think they'd be wearing? I also like to ask myself a question before I begin. That being, this time, what would a sugar glider wear? To start, I'll pull up images of sugar gliders and observe their appearance. They have all these fancy looking stripes around them, and they are also really active at night. I think something casual could work best. Once you have a theme in mind, research clothes that suit the theme. This should take some time, but you'll eventually come up with something you like. It's like putting a puzzle piece together. For my character, something simple should work. Maybe a sleeveless shirt, some heels, and maybe a necklace too. It'll start coming together as you go on. Step 3. Naming. You could say it's kind of too late to be naming the character now, but trust me, there's a good reason why I don't do this first or last. Now, when it comes to naming your character, one of two things could happen. Either A, an idea pops into your head and it's absolutely brilliant, or B, you brainstorm a lot of interesting ideas, but none of them really stand out. You don't need to immediately have an interesting idea. Heck, you could even change the name of it later on. Name just helps the next step is all. For my character, I first thought of Amanda, but I didn't think it fit well. What about Emily? Maybe not. How about Chili? Actually, it sounds like a really nice name. I think I'll go with Chili. Sugar gliders are more active at night, and it gets pretty chilly, so it fits. Their names don't need to be basic and simple if you don't want it to. I had two characters based off objects, Dart and Siren. I don't actually have a good excuse to leave these guys up here for like more than 5 seconds. Step 4. Personality. Now we can get to the juicy stuff. To really start building your character, you should get them some characteristics. To get the ball rolling, you could start by listing some words that might describe them. Might even start coming up with these things left and right. Looking for inspiration isn't a bad idea either, just try not to copy off of anything. When coming up with their personality, they could be based on you or completely made up. I want Julie to be very energetic. She likes to talk a lot and she's always smiling. When she gets tired though, she's an absolute couch potato. Sleeping during the day, not getting anything done, and being lazy just like me. Your character traits and personality can make them really relatable to others, making them more interesting. Once you've got a good idea down, you're free to move on to the final step. Step 5. Extra details. The final step. Your new character looks nice, you have a great identity, and they're almost ready to be presented to the world. Now all it needs are the final details. Make a few changes, maybe touch up a few parts of their clothing or personality. I like taking the time to come up with a bunch of smaller things about the character to really flesh them out and make them unique. Even the tiny things can make them really stand out. Truly here, we already know that she's more active at night, so maybe she sleeps longer during the day because she doesn't get as much vitamin D. You can clearly see that she's like super sluggish and pretty cranky when she's low on energy. It might even cause her to forget things. Heck, I bet she wouldn't even be able to get through a game of chess. The spot on her forehead also kind of reminded me of that of a chinchilla. It'd be pretty funny if her friends called her Chili the Chinchilla, even though, she's not a chinchilla. You can add as many traits and details as you want. Small stuff all adds up to create a unique and relatable character. They can still be similar to other characters and feel different at the same time. If you really take the time to flesh out your characters like this, you might even find a new hobby. Those were the 5 steps that I usually go through when coming up with a new character. It definitely takes some time thinking of what makes everyone special, but it's honestly really fun. I hope one day I get to come up with a video series talk about my world with like more than 25 characters with unique appearances and background. That's all from me though. Hope this video was a helpful guide to spark some inspiration and creativity. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Oh my goodness, my back hurts. I can finally get out of this chair. My goodness gracious.